Joining us here in a second is, I go to the YMCA every single day.
That's right.
At like 6 o'clock in the morning. And there's a guy there. His name is Bud Sezler. And he's a personal trainer. He is a fitness coach. He's a total health coach. And if all goes well, he is joining us right now. Bud, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Welcome to Health Matters. This guy, I'm telling you, Bud, how old are you? Can I ask you how old you are?
75.
75 years old, and he's kind of helped me with like some exercises, and I limp when I walk away. I mean, he's a pretty fit. We'll talk to him here in a second. But what got you interested in the field of fitness?
Well, I was falling apart.
Oh.
At one time,
Uh-huh.
How old were you when you started to fall apart? Because I'm mid-40s, and I just want to see if it's happening to me, Bud.
It was about 40. Okay. I realized that things were not going very well.
So when you were 40, did you think we just had a physician on that we interviewed, and she talked about you're never too old to start exercising. So you started exercising at 40.
Well, I actually did some before then, but it was about 40 when I realized that I really had to do something.
So you got serious. You got serious at 40.
What?
You got serious about it at 40.
I got more serious at 40, yeah, and then even more serious every 10 years.
Every decade. All right. Hey, Bud, my name is Shannon O'Kelley, and I'm a physical therapist, and as you know, I co-host with Maury here. And
right.
Maury mentioned, that you're pretty active, and you're 75. You're doing personal training. Is this a job at the Y that you have?
Right, yes. I've been working at the North Shore YMCA for about 10 years, a little over.
And what motivates you? You get out of bed every day and go down to the Y. What time do you start?
4:45 a.m.
Okay, what time does Maury get there?
Yeah, he's there early.
Yeah. Maury gets there at what time?
Well, he gets there before 10 in the morning.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm there. I'm there between like 6 and 6:30, but I can't actually talk till like about 7:30. It takes me a while to be able to talk. Yeah.
So, what kind of classes do you teach again?
I what they call a total health coach. So I teach people how to use the equipment, set up an exercise program, and also I teach on Wednesday evening power cycling or spinning classes too.
Wow. Well, that's great. That is great.
And you take part in bike racing too, right?
Right. Yeah. Uh-huh.
So tell us about what kind of is that endurance racing, bike racing, or
anything at 70s endurance.
I mean, so
I do time trials and occasional road races. Like in out of Stanford this summer, we had the National Senior Games, and I did a couple time trials.
What age group do you compete in?
75 through 79.
So I'm mid-40s. If I start training now, I might be ready for that then, huh?
When you're 55, you can start getting into that.
Bud, what keeps you going?
Oh, pain.
Excuse me?
Well, it's just, in a way, what keeps me exercising is if I don't, I know I'll have some pain.
So let's talk about that now. So what kind of pain are you talking about? Joint pain or stiffness, or you just don't feel good? Joint pain mostly, and because I have a low back problem, okay,
that the exercise helps keep that in line too.
Is there certain things that, a lot of people, I know from talking to patients, particularly, with the New Year's coming up here in January, a lot of people are going to jump on that resolution to exercise. Starting the new year, I'm going to exercise. And so many of my patients start exercising and they experience some kind of pain because as we age, we just don't recover. We're more prone to injury.
Right.
You got any insight on that? How do you deal with that situation? Just that wear and tear or trauma to your body?
Well, I found that if I did like weightlifting too many times a week, like more than two, then I'd be paying for it. In the sense that I'd be uncomfortable.
Right.
And when I do it once to twice a week, then so some weeks I just do it once, but as long as I do it, hard job, it works pretty well for me. And my wife's a massage therapist, so
that helps. That helps, huh?
Yeah.
Keep it in the house.
If things go bad, she's always been able to get me back on the road.
Right, like I said, we just talked to a physician that talks about, as we age, our muscle mass tends to naturally deteriorate, but
right.
we can keep exercising. There's got to be a weight training component in there. So, when you started working out when you were 50, were you able to lift more days per week, and then just gradually as you aged, dropped it down just to kind of keep that wear and tear away?
Yeah, I did. At 50, I was doing it 3 times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And though I wasn't pushing as hard in a way, I hadn't went to this school and at Lake Washington Vocational Tech for personal trainers, so I didn't really know too much about it. I just was doing about 3 times a week. I was riding my bicycle a lot more, things like that. But I could do more. I could lift a lot more. The research shows we lose about 2% of our muscle mass every year,
mm-hmm.
and if we don't do any exercise, and about 1% if we do. And somewhere around the 60s, they say that you start losing more.
Uh-huh.
So it's sort of imperative, I guess, that you keep on doing it. So, because they brought people that were 80 and brought them in and give them the classes like Silver Sneakers. I used to teach that, and they do that 3 times a week, and they go from a walker to a cane.
That's great.
In about six weeks or something like that, the majority of them will go back up 1 level.
What are they saying? 70 is the new 60 or new 50, or what are they saying now?
Yeah, well, now you can drop back 8 years or something like that, if you've got a good exercise program. Yeah.
So, but I have a question for you. How do you combat knee problems?
The knee problem?
Yeah.
I do a leg extension.
And that takes...
For me, that works.
So you're basically keeping your quad muscles strong then?
Right, and around the knees. And I did a lot of quad exercises, with the incline press,
Uh-huh, sure.
and things like that, but it didn't work. The leg extension kept my knee in joint.
And you're doing the leg extension on the machine, or are you doing that?
On the machine, yeah.
On the machine, yeah. Do you do that?
I started out when I had problems about 40 because when I was 6 years old, I got hit by a car and it made my joint loose, and I'd go out of joint, and then I grew out of it, and then 40 to come back. And at that time, I figured, well, maybe if they wanted to operate, and I said, well, maybe if I made my knee stronger, it'd work. And so I tied bricks on the bottom of a couple old shoes, and I sat and did that leg extension. About 4 months later, I was all right.
So you tied bricks on the bottom of your shoes?
Yeah, with duct tape.
That's old school methodology.
Do they have that at the YMCA? Just at the North Shore YMCA.
You missed that.
You don't have to have the YMCA.
Yeah.
Do it. And then when I was about 65, I was going up to Alaska to do a race across Alaska, and I stopped doing that exercise. But I was doing a lot of other training. And I came back, and I didn't do it again. And about 3 months later, bang, lost the muscle tone in that knees, and they went out of joint.
So
this time I used a machine.
But tell me about your what you eat, your nutrition during the day. Are you on a special diet?
Yeah, sort of. I started making our own granola 20 years ago because I need a lot of fiber.
Mm-hmm.
And
I want to request you bringing me some of that, please.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And the stuff you buy has a lot of oil in it. So I had a nutrition program for my computer, and I put what I make. We make up our own several pounds at a time, and I put it in the computer, and it's come back and said, well, you need more vitamin E in your diet, all these things that I ate. And so I've added almonds into it and brought it up. But so in the morning, I generally have a bowl of granola and milk and some fresh fruit.
That would be like at 4 o'clock in the morning?
Yeah.
Okay.
About 4 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
Are we keeping you up?
I eat about 4 times a day.
What's that?
I eat about 4 times a day.
Okay.
Yeah. So then when I come home, about noon, I'll have lunch with my wife, and I'll have something at 9 o'clock, a little sandwich and some fruit, maybe a piece of chocolate or something like that while I'm working about 8:30 in the morning. And at noon, I have lunch with my wife and then dinner with her. And we eat most everything, but few months there back when I was about 50 or so, and I had to lose 60 pounds.
How much?
60, yeah.
You lost 60 pounds?
Yeah, about. Yeah, I'd started riding a motorcycle for a while, and I was starting to look like it. and so I went to the doctor, and she said, you need to lose some weight, and so that's where I got this computer program, and I started measuring everything I ate.
Just on your own? What a computer program, I mean, what kind of program is it?
Well, they went broke because they had something that made your computer crash.
Oh, yeah. But you lost. Hey, Bud, when you were 60 pounds overweight, I'm just curious, did you have any other health problems with that weight? I mean, pardon me for asking, but did you have diabetes or anything? Or
no.
You never got that?
No, I was fairly active, too. I was a commercial photographer, so I was always running around, But I had the low back problem was starting to develop.
Yeah.
And my knee problem developed, about that time, too.
Yeah, people don't realize just carrying extra weight on our body. I mean, if you just lift 10 pounds, and if you have that, times 6, 60 pounds, that's a lot of wear and tear on the joints.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
A lot of weight. So weight loss is definitely important. And have you been able to keep that weight off? Obviously. I
kept most of it off. Was the weightlifting, added weightlifting and stuff like that. I did increase the muscle, and I put on 20 pounds. And
well, you're gonna
now I'm back. I'm back down to 210. So I've actually only gained 10 pounds from that time. But
wow.
And my fat level is fairly decent.
How do you do a body fat analysis, or are you weighing, or do you skin fold?
I did the body fat analysis there.
Do you do the pinch, the skin fold caliber, or are you getting in the tank, the water tank?
Well, they did it at Evergreen Hospital with this electronic one.
Oh, okay.
And they did it at the Y. They were pretty close to the same thing.
And what is your body fat, Bud?
About 20%.
Oh, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was much higher at one time.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, it sounds like it. But, I mean, what's impressive, you've kept that weight off and you've stayed active. Do you have any other friends or people your age that you train, or have you gotten anybody interested in working out as they age? Because, again, a lot of people, I just think, when you hit a certain age, you just can't go to the gym, but that's not true, is it?
No, we're getting, Marv Hoskins?
Marv Harshman.
Harshman, yeah. The basketball coach?
He used to coach the Huskies, and he used to coach the
yeah.
Well, but I'm a Coug, so...
Yeah, but he coached the Cougs for a while.
Okay.
But he works out of the
Y.
Yeah, he works out at the North Shore Y. How old is Marv Harshman now?
Oh, I don't know. He's over 90.
Yeah,
you kidding?
and he works out there. There's a lot of, at that time of the morning, the same group of people show up, and there's a lot of older men and women that work out every single day there, right? Right, Bud?
Yeah. Erickson was there, too, but he passed away.
Oh,
the rowing coach. Was he the rowing coach at UW?
No, I think he was.
He was Dennis Erickson's dad, probably, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
So.
Yeah. That's great.
So, it's quite a few. But, there's a lot of people that are older that come in.
And they have a great pool there, too, so there's a lot of swimmers going on there, too.
They have aquatics programs then, obviously.
Oh, yeah, it's great.
Right.
And I did that like a few years ago. I went to try to swim a few times, and first of all, when I got in the pool, this lady, she looked like she was 100 next to me, and I was thinking, all right, I'm going to torch this lady. And like a half a lap, she had already gone like 3 laps, and I was actually sweating in water. I couldn't figure out what the deal was. So that's a heck of a workout.
Did you have the big orange floaties on your arms?
After a while, I had the board.
Kickboard, yeah.
Yeah, I had the kickboard I was using. So.
Yeah, but I want to go back real quick as a therapist. I just want to go back to the knee extension machine, because basically what you're trying to do there is keep your quad muscles or your thigh muscles strong, and they stabilize the knee joint. But I do want to let everybody know that and I think you said it too, is the knee extension machine. Be careful with that if you have a lot of arthritis in your knee joint, particularly on the backside of your kneecap, because that knee extension machine can put a lot of stress on that joint. But there are other things you can do to maintain quad strength. It happens to work for you, and that's great.
It doesn't. And a lot of physical therapists will tell people don't do that, and some will say yes, depending on their problems.
Yeah, I've just seen a lot of people that they come in and all of a sudden they have what we call patellofemoral dysfunction, which is inflammation of the cartilage behind the kneecap. And you start drilling down, asking them, what have you been doing? Well, and then they say, I started working out and I'm doing this knee extension machine. So I think it's a great exercise. I think you just have to be careful with it. I just want to throw that in there.
Hey, Bud, we're out of time.
Okay.
And I want to thank you for coming. This is you go to the Y to work out, and you end up talking to him because he's a great guy, and he's very knowledgeable.
True motivation.
Yeah, he's perfect. I'll see you in a couple days. If you want, if you have any other questions or need more information on Bud, besides going to the YMCA at 5 o'clock in the morning to see him every day, we'll put all the information for the Y on our website. Thanks, Bud.
Thanks, Bud.
Thank you.